If you feel that you're struggling to control the distance of your putts and also the line of your putts, there may be an issue with the way you're holding onto the club, and we might be able to explore changing your grip to add in a degree of more control. If you feel currently that you're using maybe a largely standard hold on the club, so as a right-handed golfer, maybe we've got the right hand low, the left hand high, you might be gripping it how you currently play your normal golf shots with either interlinking or overlapping fingers. I would encourage you to move away from that fairly quickly. Try and move to a more bespoke golfer's grip. The problem with this grip is it encourages your hands to do some work, and we really don't want the hands to do any work in putting. We want the hands to be an awful lot quieter. But if you could maybe video yourself or even watch yourself in the mirror hitting some putts, what you might find and see is that your hands are quite active through the stroke, where the leading hand kind of stops through the impact area and the bottom hand just takes over. This is going to cause problems with consistency of distance control and maybe also club face control, as the club face moves too much inside, outside, open toe, which is causing problems with starting the ball on the right line. If this is an issue in your game and you might try and stop it, you might struggle unless you make a fundamental grip change that reminds their hands they're doing a different job. So the areas that you might consider changing with that grip: if you feel as a right-handed person your right hand is getting too active and doing too much work, we want to quieten this hand down. You'll see a lot of golfers on the TV now, some of the best putters in the world, are using either a pen holder grip in this fashion here, so how you would hold to right with a pen, you hold the club in the same fashion. Now that means that the upper hand, the top hand, is going to be far more dominant than the bottom hand, and the lead hand there does a lot of the work, and this just sits on as a guide and it stops it getting too overexcited. You could also use the claw grip method, which is like a claw like this, holding top and bottom. Now I stress, if you've never tried any of these are going to feel very, very strange, but you might get some pretty good results with a bit of practice on the putting green, or even just in the lounge carpet. Just have your hand in this position, and basically it stops the hand doing this, which we think is the cause of the overactivity in your hands. In this position, back, through, back, through, and particularly when you get anxious and nervous, this bottom hand might do too much work. In this position, it might be a bit quieter. Or actually, if you've seen me take a couple of putts today, I can switch my hands around, and I generally putt in my own game left hand low. Quite often I teach this way around just to not confuse people, but I play my own golf left hand low. And again, same reason, my top hand does too much work, so by gripping left hand low, I feel like I get a lot more control. My top hand, my right hand, which is normally my dominant hand, can't be too dominant in this position, and it gives me a lot more control. So if you feel like in this position your hands are too dominant and too wafty, we want to try and quieten down that wrist hinge. We want to try and set the hands in a position that means that they don't rotate too much, they don't release too much, they don't flick too much. Consider changing your grip style to improve your putting.